Welcome to Flawless Shoe Reviews. Today I'm going to break down the key features in the recently updated Saucony Hurricane 25. It's seen some changes to the midsole and the fit on top. By the end of this video you should have a good idea if this is the right shoe for you. I'm also going to break down some features from a foot and ankle specialist perspective so we can touch on some different injuries that it can provide some relief for. So first of all, let's look at the midsole. And we've got a dual layer blended midsole in the Hurricane 25. So we've got the standard PWRRUN midsole, but we've also got the PWRRUN PB, which is the super foam that we see in some of the other Saucony shoes. So we have the standard midsole underneath, which is a little bit firmer, a little bit more stable, and then we have the more energetic cushioned PWRRUN PB cushioning on top of that. So we can see on the inside of this midsole we've got more of the standard midsole towards the inside and less towards the outside, and that in effect creates a form of medial arch support or medial stability in the inside of the shoe. Now it's not that you feel it protruding or pushing up into the arch or heel, it's more that it's harder to compress, so when you apply pressure to it you don't sink into it as much on the inside of the shoe, and that runs all the way up to the big toe, providing support throughout the whole inner aspect of the shoe. Now we also see that in the recent Asics GT 2000 version 14. We'll do a comparison video on these two shoes so you have an idea of how they match up, as their midsoles are completely different in terms of their performance. However, going back to the Hurricane 25, we've got this blended midsole, but we also have some sidewalls on the inside and the outside of the shoe around the heel that provide support and stability to the shoe. So they come up, cradle your ankle, and have to control those pronation moments when you initiate contact with the ground, and that's coupled up with a relatively stiff heel counter. Again, this cradles the ankle, helping to control those pronation moments when you initiate contact with the ground. It's got a nice broad base of support underneath the shoe that doesn't narrow too much in the midfoot, and we've got some nice sole flare on the lateral aspect of the forefoot, again trying to keep you centered in the shoe as you move. So a real focus on stability, which makes sense considering this is a shoe that fits in with the stability line of the Saucony range. Then as we move up the shoe, we've got a nice forefoot rocker that's not too aggressive and doesn't have too much toe spring in there. And then on top of the shoe, we've got a wider fit than what we saw in the Hurricane 24. So plenty of space in the normal fit for your toes to splay, but it also comes in an extra wide version as well. We've got a true to size and length, and we've got a flat knit upper on top of the shoe. We've got a nice gusseted tongue that's padded on top, but not too much cushioning. And we've got plenty of cushioning around the heel cup, which be adequate for most people. And when it comes to performance, this shoe feels different than what we saw in the 24. So it's a little bit bouncier, a little bit softer, and a little bit springier due to that super foam PWRRUN PB in the shoe. So when you apply pressure to it, you do sink into it a little bit, but then it does bounce you back out again. Now it's not as bouncy as what we see in the GT 2000, so it's a little bit flatter of a shoe overall, and that's partly got to do with the less aggressive geometry of the shoe. But if you're looking for a staple shoe that provides medial stability, that has a nice broad platform that you want to use for easier runs, longer runs, then this is an excellent option for you. It's not as heavy as some of those other stability shoes in the market, coming in around 283 grams for a size 9 men's US, and we've got 38 mils of cushioning in the rear foot, 32 in the forefoot, giving that classic 6 mil difference from the back to the front of the shoe. We've got relative flexibility in the forefoot, so it's sufficient for those of you who might have hallux limitus or you might need a little bit of protection underneath the ball of the foot, but for the majority of the population they'll appreciate that little bit of flex in the forefoot. When it comes to day-to-day use and lifestyle use, yes, it's an excellent walking shoe for standing for long periods of time. That 6 mil drop gives a nice even distribution of pressure across your foot, and it's an excellent staple overall if you're looking for one of those premium stability shoes with mild to moderate stability. However, if you have any questions on them, drop in the comment section below. I'll pop a link in the description if you want to check out the latest price on Amazon. Otherwise, like and share and subscribe, and does make a massive difference to us if you found the video helpful. Thank you very much for watching.